So, hello people, we are going to destroy Logic Pro. No, I'm kidding. So this is my absolute love in software, but we have to talk about some important flaws. And this will be a very good example of how a very stupid mindset towards more intellectual questions of musical composition affects hardware and software negatively. So I spoke about this in a more broad video. So here I will give a concrete example. So this problem here, it's important. So it affects classical film scoring, cinematic scoring. So I'm speaking about everything that is around the John Williams style, and of course jazz and so what else? Progressive heavy metal. So what else? Chorinho, Brazilian chorinho. Everything that is very dependent on a more complex layered arrangement with the necessity of having a very precise voice leading will be affected by this. So when we are composing something like this, that is something like real orchestral music, not a mega massive fast food epic, okay? So really articulated orchestration, and principally when it is very fast music like this. So this is why I'm almost dead composing this. But what else? So what else? I'm thankful for this commission. But anyways, when we are doing something like this, so we have to be very precise in all aspects of music. Okay, so the harmony is one of these aspects. Now the problem is that the developers of Logic Pro still understand harmony as, so you have the bass tone, the fundamental tone, and you go from there, and then you activate the session players, and you go from there, and you have the new feature of the chord track finally, and way too late. So Cubase had this, and I am very thankful for the feature. However, they forgot something. They forgot something very important, and to forget important things, it's a very direct consequence of a very negative mindset towards the theoretical aspects of music. So it's not that you are going out there and destroying the books of music theory in the bookstore, okay? Like like the guys, so these crazy people from the Greenpeace, so these crazy people who throw paint, tint on the Mona Lisa or whatever, you get the point? It's not like this, so they forget. And here they forget something very important. So to forget things that are consolidated by a very proven, successful tradition of film composing is a huge consequence of a very bad mindset towards intellectual questions of musical education. Here you are going to see this. So the chord track is awesome. However, it has a problem. So you are when you have the chord track, first of all, you are invited to use it, no? Because now you have a chord track. But it has a very important problem. So you don't have the chord track on the score, okay? And this is for some people, this is like it's just by design, and if this is by design, it's even worse, okay? So they might argue that this is for the new session player of Logic Pro. So the session player session player is an AI track, kind of AI track that will follow the chord track, okay, in sync. So here you have some types, okay? By the way, again, very stupid styles. So where is our heavy metal style? Okay, where is the jazz? There is no jazz here. Indie disco, disco slap, modern rhythm and blues, modern Motown. Yes, they focused on the styles that are selling most, probably, no? Okay, retro rock. Anyways, so they focus on the styles that work better, so that the technology can deliver something that works, no? So the idea is that the chord track comes in sync with this new technology. And here's another thing to observe, that until they find this technology, there was no chord track in Logic Pro. So the whole idea of having a clear, detailed overview of your arrangement was not so in focus for the developers. Although you have a very interesting trick. Okay, start teaching already. I promise myself that I want to bring any topics that is from the previous lessons. You have one of the cool tricks is that you, where is the, hey, open the piano roll. So you go to piano roll, and when you do this here, he shows the chords sometimes. This is another problem, okay? By the way, it's another problem. So he shows here the chords if he can identify. So let's see if he can identify my F minor. So today he doesn't want. This is another problem, okay? So, okay, of course, this is unisson, so idiot. Of course, unisson, so why? Yes, so here he can't identify. This is not good, okay? It's not good as well. So he doesn't say nothing, but if this is not a book of yet, I experimented sometimes, and you do like this, and he shows the chord here. He tried to do an interpretation, and as you can expect, many times the interpretation is not so correct, or at least is enharmonically wrong. What will happen a lot with this music here? This is another problem. So it is an enharmonic madness. Okay, so now so they consider a little bit this, but not so much. So now when they added this new technology in a recent update, then it came the chord track. Then the harmony is suddenly important. Now the chord track was developed. Okay, I'm very happy. So then it works more or less like this. So you have this mini plugin here, and what is good is that if you play on keyboard, you give he reads the chord that you play on keyboard, okay, and automatically writes. This is very good. However, along here there is a huge important mistake. So if I play the fifth, sixth chord, or the first inversion, the first inversion of a dominant seventh chord, okay, he doesn't read the bass. Okay, this is alone a no-go. Okay, this is very no-go. Okay, so which type of music can you do professionally if this doesn't work? Okay, so it doesn't deliver what you are, what the whole thing is there for. Okay, so it's not good. So now let's see the sixth chord, so the first inversion of the triad. It also doesn't work. Okay, do you understand? So this is very based on the AI technology to the point of view of excluding any chance of doing mistakes. So I assume that with the inversions, they would do more mistakes in the arrangement, in the automatic arrangement, and then this, then it sucks. Okay, something like this. Because why is the inversion not there? Now bass note. I can add the bass note here. So E. So let's see C major first inversion. Let's see if I am wrong. Okay, so he doesn't want this. Okay, I play the inversion. I play, so it's E on the bass. Okay, it's E on the bass, and so not good, my friend. Not good. This is really not good. So now this is just one example. I know you are not hearing my keyboard this time because my setup is for my lessons. It's I tried many times to create one setup that is good for the Zoom lesson and good for YouTube streaming, and because of another flaw with the Zoom app, this is not so easy yet. And also because of the way that I set up my things. So very bad this, no? So the it doesn't work. It works half the way. Now, what is still more bad is this. So now how to figure out which chord is going on? So I composed this long time ago, let's say, and I forgot what is going on. So if the music is very fast, no, I won't play my music. Okay, I won't play my music here. You wait for it to hear this. And so if I, so this is very fast. So my ear is good, but it's not perfect. Okay, perhaps I should have done more ear training as I suggest that you learn with me. And there is my course on my website, by the way. That you can do on your own. No, not totally on your own. So you pay the course, you do all the exercises that are offline there, and then you can have a training with me. So it's with Zoom. This is why it's more expensive. So so if I had done more ear training, I would not even need to look at the score, no? Now, even for professionals, it's very hard. It's very hard. If the music is very fast, you need to write somewhere. And principally when you have many chord changes, okay? So principally the passing chords in an orchestral arrangement, they still require a lot of attention in the voice lead. In some clashes you really don't want. Okay, some clashes you really don't want, and so you need to keep track of the harmony. Now, for many bars, I have memorized the harmony. For some other bars, I know it's a mess because still in progress, no? So for other bars, I had the piano track, okay, and this is the argument for the piano reduction, of course. And I had here, so the piano, where is my piano? Did I delete? I think I deleted, but it's not a big problem. So I started from piano. Actually, I started this music from notation, from paper, okay? And now I came to a more direct workflow. So I'm scoring direct in the score. And then you have advantage and disadvantage. So the disadvantage is that you might lose the overview of the harmonic some harmonic details later, days later, after you compose it. When I'm composing, I know where I'm going. So here I go from I just do a very parallel motion here with these two chords, and then I go to some augmented chords, I remember. Okay, so I remember this. But this is not the most professional way to work. We need clarity. Then, of course, if you have when the score is well written, you can read and you figure out what is going on. Okay. However, for big scores, just visually, it sucks. It sucks heavily to read the score. Okay, it sucks heavily, and so I have the big screen here, and I have full size the page, and still, it's actually visually not easy to read the score. There is something about the screen, some elements of the screen, okay, that make it still not so. It's still not so like the printed paper, okay. If I have this broken here in front of me, I can still read better. Now, so visual problems are very critical for this type of music. And this is specific for orchestral music, of course, not for the jazz thing, etc. And then you see how important it is to have a good harmonic overview. Now, they forgot to add the chord track in this view of the score here. That is the most important, where you have the is the view where you have the actual integration with the MIDI, so you see the tempo, okay? So there is no option for the chord track here. This is a very important flaw. It's a very important flaw. This is why I'm repeating. I did a short about this, but now I'm repeating the video to highlight how important is this. So here he offers the chord track, and here not. The argument behind this might be we don't have the session player in the score. What is this? So perhaps, and it's also bad. So why not the score of the session player? And the worst is this. So you have the menu, but chord is excluded from this. So it's like a very evident bad design on purpose or what. So now then the alternative. Then you have the marker. Now the marker is already a very huge gold pill tip. It's very interesting. So it's how I'm doing here. In this case, to mark a very important chords that were kind of obscure, okay, for me. So the marker helps a lot, but the idea of the marker, when you are scoring for two picture directly, okay, the marker is super important for other things, okay? So the marker is good for chords, but it's not the same thing. The point is that when you offer this new functionality of the chord track, then of course it's normal that in your workflow you start to think about this as the way to go. So logic is affecting the default way that you think about your own workflow, okay? And then here is the problem. So he invites you to use the thing, hey, use my chord track, okay? And then you see things that are no-go, even for the first release, okay? This is, for me, a direct consequence of let's say, aloof mindset towards harmony and counterpoint craftsmanship. Okay, this is how I see this. Also, for many things in jazz, I don't know if this is useful. Okay, I would have to ask the jazz colleagues in many types of jazz. Now, if I remember, another problem of the chord track is the passing chords. Let me see if this is true. So let me put a chord here. So I want one chord in each on each beat. Okay, whatever the chord. Okay, no, this works. Yes, because it would be very yes, okay. This works. Okay, so and let's do a stress test. Let's see if he can manage a chord here. So F diminished. So another problem. So I can't drag the window here away. So how smart, no? That I can't see where I am. So very interesting. So I can't see where I am. So I think it has a limit of the subdivisions. I'm very skeptic about how detailed. See, I can't. Either I am very ignorant about the chord track yet, because it doesn't work as I want, I don't even use it, or there is a workaround for this. So let me know. But so far as I can say, it sucks badly to bring a chord anywhere in the time. Okay, anywhere in the time. This might also disturb the workflow, because let's say the chord is your priority and you want anywhere here in a very critical frame of the picture you are scoring to. So then you start from the chord there, and then later you can go to the beat mapping and adjust the tempo and bring the whole music as a downbeat here, for example. So you can do this. Anyways, you start to have an overview of the problem. Now it is very critical, this situation, because it would be amazing, simple, okay, workflow, and this simple workflow can't happen. Okay, so I think if you bring the Richard Strauss here today and you give this score, and then he starts to look at this and find, hey, whoa, amazing, unbelievable. Then the first thing that he would do, okay, so let's bring my tredecima chord here. So my altered dominant chords here, and let's write a chord here. So in the chord track, but it's not possible. So what is possible is to do this with the marker, what is already awesome. And here I will teach you now how to overcome the problem of having to use the marker for other things like in your movie and other types of notes that you might have to take when composing, and using this for harmony. So you will see that the marker set here offers you the menu to create a new set. So then you will create a new set. Okay. I suspect a new set, then you can call it your chord track marker. Okay. And then now you have a new marker set, and then you write whatever you want. And by the way, the marker functionality is way more works way easier than the chord track functionality. How can this be, my friend? So this it's another indicator for my hypothesis that I don't know how much they test the things. The ideal thing is, I don't know, they should send this to the Trevor Jones, to the James Horner in the Sky, whatever, before they release the new update. Okay, I'm not sure how much they update, they check some features. I think that they test some features with a very niche type of music, and I find this is a pity, because Logic Pro is still so the most awesome software I can mention for if you are starting orchestral composing. So it is a pity. Now it is this. So they test with of course with the mainstream music. But here's the contradiction. They test with the guys of the mainstream music, but they sell this as the highest achievement in musical technology, for the highest levels of craftsmanship, okay, exigence in craftsmanship. And here's the problem. Here's the contradiction. Okay, if you want to sell your product, attaching to it an image of high craftsmanship, that everything is possible, okay, then I think you should test with more exigent composers that actually master the craft. So do they send this to, I don't know, to the John Powell? The John Powell uses the Logic Pro, and I don't find the John Powell the highest master, but he's still a composer that let's say has some self-awareness and go study, you know. So here's Logic Pro. So I don't know, do the people from Apple send to Logic to the guy to test the new update? I think this would be the correct thing. And I saw some things of the John Powell, and I am almost sure that he would agree with me that he would love to have this basic integration with the score a little bit better updated. Okay. Otherwise, you use the marker track. So why do you use the chord track if you can use the marker track? So the only argument is the new feature of the AI madness. So now, still, the marker track is another problem, because although it is awesome, it's still, I think they didn't understand that the possibility of creating marker sets is so awesome, but it is so bad if we can have the list of the marker sets here in parallel. Okay. So this is a huge hindrance in the potential for customization. So you see here, we have tempo, marker, okay, beat mapping, signature, and the customization of the global track is already something very, very good and cool, because we don't have so much space in our displays. Okay, so everything that is related to visual customization is not only good, but is crucial. So you have here the chord set that I created, but if I want another set, I have to always toggle, okay? This is always toggle. So then this is a no-go. Now, many people who start, and actually this is a very common argument for people who are actually not working professionally with these softwares. They will feel, oh, but you just have to click there and go there and go there. So actually, when you're composing, there is not something like this, because when you have a complexity of music in your mind, you won't disturb your thinking with 4 or 3 steps. So 4 or 3 steps makes a huge difference. If you can bring this resume to one single step, it's better, and even better if you need no step at all. So if the things are always there as soon as you activate your current screen set. So here in this case, for example, so you for a case like this, the overview of the chordal structure is absolutely a huge help. And if I were scoring to picture, so the overview of the chordal structure and some musical notes would be the not something that is good, but almost the only way to properly work well, okay, in this style of music. Now the arrangement track, suspend content connection. So the arrangement track is also very good, but it works differently. It is again really intended for like songwriting type of thing. It might help. You can rename. You can just say here start, okay, and the arrangement track is a little bit a different system, and the possibilities that it offers is still not so flexible as the marker. So the marker is the heart, the heart of the global tracks, okay, and you have a lot of functionality based on the marker. So you can't. So first you have the shortcuts for a marker that are very easy. So I set a shortcut for one key instead of two keys, for I can easily do the marker. You have the marker here, so the overview of the marker here. So then you start to have the list of your chords, something that you can't have with the chord track again, okay? So this is another problem. Let's see if I am correct about this. Yes, so you don't have it's not the same. So here marker is in the heart of the workflow, and arrangement isn't. So you see here the marker category, not the arrangement category, okay? But as a workaround, so for now, what you can do is that you use your chord set, okay, in the marker. So you can mark your chord anywhere, and the arrangement, perhaps you use the arrangement for all the types of notes. A very important type of thing is for example, like here. So you write so tutti here it has to be a tutti in this moment. For you remember when you're composing, and these are the types of things that we expect when we go to software that are better than pen and paper. Okay, this is why I give so much importance for this, because if these things do not get better or do not work as they are sold to work, then it drives me crazy, because then the pen and paper might be better, or even the music score. Okay. Now, still another problem of the marker track is the way that is meant to work. So it fills everything. Okay, So this is why it is very different than a proper chord track. Okay, so it works in this way that it fills everything. So here you would need to create another marker and say it is empty. Okay, so you always have to remember to do like this to keep things clean. Otherwise, you come back to your project 1 year later and you start to have this cognitive dissonance. And you might, the amateur people, they find this you are overthinking. No, I'm not overthinking this. So exactly this thing distracts you a lot from the real musical ideas. Okay, the whole time, because you add a distraction here, then there is another there, and so on. So you have just 10% of your brain free for the composition. Now, so this is the what I have to say. Still, since you watched the video to the end, now I will give you the mega coolest tip. So what you can do is that you can create a software track. Okay, and this is as I do in my main template. This is another template just for score that I am testing actually. Okay, to work this way. So you can do like this. Okay, but this is for other type of workflow. Okay, and you can create just a region, and then you call it C minor. Okay, and this might work. This is still better to have an overview of the key, because sometimes you want to change keys and without a key signature type of change of key signature. Okay, so for example, in my in this music, I know I start here, and here it starts a modulation. Okay, so here starts a modulation, and then I say that so I start in F minor, then I go like vagrant. So here it gets crazy. So actually here it's always key shift somehow. Okay, it always key shift. Then you have here. So, and then you have an overview of your keys. Okay, oops. And then you I don't know where it goes later. So I have mega powerful computer and still is bugging here slow, because I'm scanning with disk drill. I did the amazing stupid thing that I think I lost a project, although I have 3 backups. It was just stupid. I deleted the 2 duplicates, but all the duplicates. So here, for example, you can, so then it goes to G minor key. Okay, so this type of thing is actually very helpful. Now, if the developers had a mentality of really high craftsmanship and what are the challenges of composition that all the composers had, okay, so since Beethoven at least, until Stravinsky. So if they had a mentality of observing how was music composed, how was the workflow, what worked as an effective, fast way of composing, how did the Korngold did, how did the Dukas did, so and so on. So they would have so much ideas that are not so hard to implement, in my opinion. and would massively help the software not only for this style of music but for all other styles of music, included this beloved genre of music that the strippers and the prostitutes like, so the hip hop. So then it will help everyone. So I think that's enough for a mini critical lesson. If you want to learn with me MOCKUP and Logic Pro, you can do it. And also I invite you to mark you in the waiting list for my philosophy for philosophy for composers course. So philosophy of music, one of the parts of the philosophy for composer course. This is for a small group. Perhaps the group does not even exist, and I don't care. So it's your problem. Meanwhile, I teach here in Vienna all these topics for my class. But if you want to learn in private, what I find way cooler, to create an independence in musical education and to support an independent musical education, join the Patreon, stick around. So I want to build a class that is more or less homogeneous. I think it is two types of classes. One type is it has not so much background in philosophy, and the other type are these nerds that already studied some classics of philosophy. And I think this would need another class for we don't have an hostile environment for everything feels safe. So then we have to think about it. So stick around. So join the Patreon for free, for you remember that you exist. Leave a like or your comment there, and see you soon. Ciao, ciao.